Good morning everybody. It's a Saturday morning, late September, so it's about 5 to 9. Just about to go out and do some work for a relative, but I thought I'd post a quick little video up about how I'm getting on regarding my kit car build and what my next sort of stage is, or should I say kit car rebuild. Being that this car's been on the road for over 10 years now and it's just in need of quite a restoration. So it's been off the road for about 15 months, progressing slowly when time allows me, and I've reached a bit of a milestone, so I've got to have a bit of a mini project. You might have come across my powder coating oven, sandblaster sort of area that I did a little while ago, which has proved quite successful getting parts ready. So we've moved on to another crucial stage. So these are chassis, having been extensively repaired, added fixings for a full roll cage. It now needs to be fully painted or powder coated. So I had a few little thoughts about what to do, so I'm going to go try and do some home spray job. I've done aerosol spraying before, rattle cans, never really tackled anything more than that, and we'll try and do something a little bit different. So I'm going to try and go for a full paint job. I'm going to try and do myself, at least do the chassis myself. So having done a test run on the engine, got all the brakes pipes all made up, I stripped the car all back down again, gone over it to try and remove any bits and pieces that I need, bits of grinding that needs to be done, final welding. Still got a couple more bits to do when I turn it up again, but I'm at the stage where I want to take it already. So what I've been doing, as you can see from the plastic sheeting on the floor, I've been media blasting the chassis to get rid of all little bits and pieces. So I've been using some grit that came out of my media blaster. So I've now replaced it with some newer stuff. So being that this is going to be a lost system whereby the sand just gets sprayed everywhere, I thought I'd just try and use some old stuff. So this is the grit I've been using, or what's left of it. I've been out here quite a few evenings with the appropriate PPE on, just basically shot blasting or getting rid of what I wanted to, and then sweeping this up and recuperating it back into the bucket again. So it was really probably around about that high, and obviously there's bits of it that have flown out the door and probably gone in my ears and God knows where else. That we've left with about half a bucket now. It's come out okay. It's got off all the areas that I couldn't get into with the angle grinder, sort of, you know, these sort of tight joints here that I just couldn't get to. Some more areas in towards the tunnel area here. So it's done quite well. I'm ready to sort of start spraying or painting the underside bit. We've previously used an epoxy 2-pack, or obviously as it would be, from a company called Rust Busters, which has worked out quite well. It's a bit like a sort of DIY powder coating idea, and that's what I'm going to try and use again. But rather than try and hand paint it where you get quite a lot of the brush marks showing, I'm going to go out spraying and painting it. So I'm getting myself ready for that. I've watched loads and loads of YouTube videos on setting up spray guns, which I've never done before, so I'm going to have a little bit of a play and see how I get on. This, by the way, is the remains of the old media blaster gun that I used for my cabinet, and that's what I've been using in here, just with the airline attached to here, to effectively blast all these little nooks and crannies. The reason for the real video really is to sort of give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing. Clearly I don't end up with overspray of everything else or dust everywhere else, so I'm going to try and attempt to build myself a DIY paint booth. Again, got some inspiration from online. I'm going to give it a go. If nothing else, it'll something else I can try and have a go at doing. So out of my double width garage, and I've had to shove all my stuff over that side now. Obviously the chassis is not the normal size of a normal sort of road car, so I'm hoping to just create myself a little bit of a cocoon with appropriate ventilation, air supply, lighting where possible, just to try and get all the angles of the chassis, and then later on I'll end up doing the same with the body panel. So what we've got here is loads of sections of handy angle, normally used probably in more like in the mid sort of 70s and 80s, used to create shelving units. Most of the stuff you buy now is blow molded stuff, but this is handy angle with the slots cut in it and the appropriate sort of edges to reinforce the corners, as you can see. So I've got managed to rescue these out of a skip after most of them have been tucked out. I've got probably about enough just to create effectively a caged area. So looking at the back of the garage, I've got one full strip that will go from here over to there. Got one strip that goes from there to approximately halfway down the garage, and then the other bit will take me just to the about there. So with 2 full lengths, I'll get in, it's certainly getting long enough. I might even cut it back a little bit to make it easier to walk around the garage or around the spray booth into the workshop area. The upright is just to sort of demonstrate how high it will be, but clearly I'm going to have to trim these ones down to be just underneath the garage door, because I want to be able to open the garage door, obviously, to get stuff in and out. So I'm hoping that I can then just sheet it over in the typical plastic sheeting like you see on the floor. But obviously I've got a bigger sheet sort of waiting there at the moment that's going to be wrapped around. I'm going to leave the floor bare. I was contemplating leaving the sheeting on it, but obviously the best idea is to leave it bare so you can sprinkle it with water before you start doing spraying to catch any dust. So I'm hoping to start making up the framework this weekend. Obviously a few little chores to do. As you can see where I've been shaking the chassis, there's obviously remnants of the sand that's come out, or the media that's come out, sorry, from the last bits of blasting. Front of the chassis is really good. Body's centre is pretty good. Got some light rust and pitting on the back chassis. This has previously been protected with the same sort of 2-pack stuff, but only really halfway through its life. So I'm hoping that I've just about saved this now. Get loads of other cleaning with the media and various other tools just to try and protect it. Take as much off as I need to, but no more. So that's all going to get coated. So the intention is to basically do the bottom section around the sides with the spray gun as it is, and then flip it over, do some last minute bits and pieces that I can't really get to as it is, and then do the same with the top. Probably looking at maybe doing 2 or 3 coats. Been watching, say, even the company's Rustbusters in-house videos of how to apply it and mix it, and I'm actually quite looking forward to it. Never done, say, the full painting before. Looks a bit of a challenge. Bought myself a couple of guns. There's all the actual chassis kit with the various cleaning products that they offer. So that's all got to be done as well. But I'm going to wait until I get the cage built up, or the frame built up, protected, keep the dust off, give this last sort of clean preparation. Then have a little play around with the gun. I bought quite a few bits of cardboard boxes home to play to try and set up the gun and the fan and the depth of the paint. I'm going to have a bit of a practice with some just water initially, maybe some water-based paints, sort out the right brewing equipment depending on what paints I eventually do use. So yeah, quite looking forward to it. I'm hoping to do a series of videos just tracking my progress through this, put it all together in a little bit of a presentation, and hopefully I'll end up with a reasonable paint job, at least on the chassis. And depending on how I get on, I want to tackle the body parts and come up with a reasonable paint job. I'm going to be jumping in and out of the car during its lifetime, so the car's going to end up getting little nicks and scratches. It gets a hard life, so there's no sense in me having a contours paint job. But I'm also going to see how I get on, how I can get a nice shine at all, maybe make it last a few more years. I've, as you can see, painted the floor recently when I built the garage 18 years ago. Most of it's worn off, so what I did last weekend was clean the paint on this, give it 2 coats of grey, try and seal in all the dust, so hopefully now when I sweep the floor it won't be as bad, and as I say now I can at least keep it nice and clean. So that's the first of the videos, and hopefully there'll be a few more to come on pretty soon.